Hi everybody! So in this video, we're going to talk about the 40 book challenge. I'm really excited to start this with you all. I love reading and I hope by the end of this year you like reading a little bit more than at least when you started. Alright, so first of all, what is this challenge? So 40 books, the challenge is to read 40 books in one school year. That sounds like a lot, but if you read every day, you might be able to get there. And even if you don't get to 40, that's okay, because I'm sure you're going to read more than you would have otherwise if we didn't start this challenge. Another component of this challenge is to read books from different genres. I'm going to talk on the next few slides about different genres and what those are. So why are we doing this challenge? First of all, reading is really important. Not just for school, but for life overall. It helps you have discussion skills. It helps you become a better writer, a better reader. Helps you analyze things a lot more. Reading is just overall super, super important. And second of all, I love reading. And I hope you all like reading a little bit more after this class and after we do this throughout the whole school year. Third question you might have is, how are we going to do this challenge? So how are we going to access reading books, and how are we going to turn in work, and how will we be graded? These two questions I'm going to answer in another video for you, which you'll find on Schoology. All right, so let's get started learning about different genres. All right, so genres. Just like you might be familiar with this word coming from music, but genres in literature is the same idea, really. Genres are just a way of categorizing books, so how to group them based on their similarities. With the 40 book challenge, it really stresses reading books in different genres, which I think is really important, because when I hear a student tell me that they don't like reading, I think maybe you just haven't found a genre that you like yet. So let's look at a few different kinds of genres that we have in literature. So one genre is adventure. Adventure stories include action, danger, and excitement. They're very fast-paced, a lot of things happening. Think of an action movie. That would be like an adventure book. Another genre is autobiography. So that's written about somebody's life. It's kind of about their whole life from when they're young to wherever they are. Usually you can find autobiographies of famous people, but you can also find autobiographies of just a lot of different people, and you get to hear about their lives. I like autobiographies. Okay, so biography is also a story about somebody's life, but this was written by another person. So it would be somebody writing the story about my life, but I didn't write it. All right, so somebody else wrote this story, or somebody else wrote the story. But again, it just tells the story of somebody's life. All right, so another genre we have is drama. And drama is when I think of like dramatic movies, dramatic books, kind of something you might see on a TV show or in the movie theater. Just something that has like a lot going on, a lot of plot twists. So this one right here is Harry Potter is actually fantasy, but it can be considered drama as well. Sometimes books can be categorized within two different genres. So, like I said, Harry Potter's over here. This is now fantasy. And fantasy specifically is a story with make-believe elements, characters such as magic or fairies. I read a really good fantasy book just this summer. They're really cool because the whole world is created by the author, and it's like all what's in their head, all up to their imagination. So when you're reading these, you get to use a lot of your imagination. They're really fun. Graphic novels. So that one makes sense. A graphic novel is a novel that has a lot of images and pictures, like a comic, but it's a book, so it's bigger. These ones are really good too. It's a lot of making inferences. You're reading the picture. These are also really good. So if you're a very visual learner, check out some graphic novels. Okay, now mystery. Mystery or kind of suspense or thriller. These are all about, something that has to get solved, like a problem. Think of like CSI, or somebody was found murdered. These ones are really good to kind of keep you on the edge of your seat. All right, so nonfiction. Nonfiction is informational. Nonfiction, informational. So they're true stories that inform the reader of a topic. I'm going to add I'll give you a few suggestions. I love nonfiction books. They could tell you the history of a lot of different things. Really informative, really fun. Okay, next we have realistic fiction. So realistic fiction is something that could happen in real life, but everybody is made up. So it sounds like a real movie or a real book, but it's not actually real. I like these because they're really relatable. The characters are going through a lot of similar things that we could be going through. Realistic fiction is one of my favorite genres. Okay, now historical fiction. So same, right? Fiction means it's made up. It's coming from the author's imagination. But historical, like it kind of sounds, takes place in the past during a significant time. So these ones are really cool if you like war novels, or if you like reading about war or something like that. These characters could be going through a war that really happened, but their story is made up by the author. Okay, so this next genre we have is science fiction or sci-fi. I really, really love sci-fi. It's really cool. It's like futuristic, and it has some like science, fun fact, it makes me think of Black Mirror, if you've ever watched Black Mirror on Netflix. It's really fun, super creative, and kind of like sometimes weird and cringy, but I love this genre. All right, the last genre we have is poetry. All right, so in case you didn't know, poetry, books are written in poetry, like poetic novels, poetic books, often expressing the author's emotion. There's a lot of really good books out there that are written in poetry. So they're a little bit less text, but a lot of meaning packed into them. They're really, really fun and really different. If you haven't tried reading a poetry book, I recommend it. All right, now that we've talked about quite a few different genres in literature, talked briefly about these listed here, which do you think that you would like to read first, or which are some that interest you? Go ahead and answer that question now.